Your average football player might not seem like the guy next door, so it's easy to assume that all there is to them is what paparazzi lets you see. Well, beyond what paparazzi and the internet show you, there is a lot more to your favorite football player. And just like the average person, football players have some secrets you have no idea exist. If you are trying to guess what it is about football players you didn't know, there will be no point guessing. In this video are stories you didn't know about football players. Before we go on, please hit the share and like buttons. Also, subscribe to this page to see more videos like this. Number 10. Zlatan Ibrahimovic almost got killed. Every football fan that knows a thing or two about Zlatan knows that he is one player that does not seem scared of blowing his own trumpet. This probably seemed like a problem a long time ago. However, it is only safe to assume that the football world is used to Zlatan's attitude. Before moving to the United States, Ibrahimovic knew he was one of the best. However, on moving to Europe, he saw himself as simply the best, and he showed this in his attitude both on and off the pitch. While in the United States, Zlatan played for LA Galaxy. Although he was simply in the US to play football, he could have ended up losing his life. As much as one can easily say Zlatan did not seem like a very nice person, he had not done anything that warranted him losing his life. Beyond being considered troublesome on the pitch, Zlatan was also quite a personality of the pitch, and some people were just not comfortable with it. So, one day, in his usual funny attitude, he drove his car and parked right in the street. He broke the law, and a crazy man was watching him. This crazy person wanted to take advantage of this situation wrongly. He rushed home to pick a lethal weapon. However, before he returned, Zlatan had gone. Well, this man admitted to wanting to take Zlatan's life because he wanted to be famous. As you would expect, this landed him in jail. Number 9. Neymar blew up his family's light bill. Zlatan did not start getting into trouble as an adult. Although there are really no records of him being troublesome as a kid, he definitely was not the calmest of kids. Amazingly, he is not the only footballer that was a troublesome kid. PSG superstar Neymar also had a funny childhood. He grew up in São Paulo and came from a poor home. Neymar's dad always paid his bills. However, he once forgot to pay his electricity bill, and on the deadline for payment, he gave the money to Neymar to do the needful. Although the Brazilian superstar knew how important the money for the bill was, he decided to gamble with the money all because he stood a chance of winning a fast car. Well, he never won the car, even though he did spend the night dreaming about it. Unfortunately, his dream of owning a fast car early did not see the light of day. Things even became worse when the power company arrived the next morning to disconnect their light. Number 8. Ronaldo was expelled from school. Neymar, Ronaldo, and Zlatan have had quite some things in common. One of them is their arrogance. Ronaldo's arrogance is quite evident when he is on the pitch, and it is easy to assume he became arrogant after becoming a superstar. However, he was already arrogant before he became big. Ronaldo has obviously made a success out of his life. However, it did not always seem like he was going to be successful. While in secondary school, he once threw a chair at his teacher, and this got him expelled from school. In his defense, CR7 said his teacher disrespected him and he was simply reacting when he threw an object at the teacher. Ronaldo could have ended up in the streets, but football came to his rescue. Number 7. Emmanuel Adebayor struggled before walking. If you think CR7's action was crazy, then you have no idea what former Arsenal striker Emmanuel Adebayor did as a child. When Adebayor's exploits on the pitch are considered, one could say he started playing football from his mother's womb. Well, contrary to what people might believe, as a kid, when it was time for Adebayor to begin walking, he couldn't walk. And with time, it seemed like he was never going to walk. The former captain of the Togolese national team was born with a mysterious defect that doctors struggled to explain. Since medical science couldn't help, Adebayor's parents searched for a cure through other means. After being unable to get a cure, they decided to take him to a church. The aim was to pray all day and all night for a week. Well, they prayed, but it did not seem like anything was going to happen until Adebayor spotted a group of kids playing football outside and simply stood up and joined in the game. In the end, it's easy to say football healed Adebayor. Number 6. De Bruyne's inability to talk to girls. Speaking of being born with a disability, Adebayor is not the only footballer that was born with a disability. Kevin De Bruyne of Manchester City was also born with some form of disability. Unlike Adebayor, who couldn't walk at birth, Kevin was perfect at birth. He had no physical deformity. However, as he grew, he just did not have the guts to talk to ladies. This did not seem like much of a problem when he was still very young and without fame and fortune. However, it became a major problem after he became rich and famous, because even in the midst of plenty, the man still couldn't woo a lady. While struggling with talking with ladies, Kevin had a thing for tweeting about, and he noticed a certain lady always engaged his tweets. After a while, he told his friend what was happening, and his friend played the role of a perfect wingman. In the end, Kevin and this lady began dating and are now married. Number 5. The Aaron Ramsey Curse. Kevin DeBurn's inability to talk to girls was crazy, but crazier is the Aaron Ramsey goal curse. If you are not a fan of the player, you just might not have an idea what this goal curse is really about. However, fans should understand what the Ramsey goal curse really is. This curse dates back to the days Ramsey was still a gunner. He was not a prolific goal scorer. Nonetheless, a number of his goals were tied to something not so pleasant. Since he was not scoring lots of goals, there was no problem. However, as soon as he began scoring several goals, he started causing problems all over the world. The man was supposed to simply be a goal scorer. However, he ended up becoming more of a hitman. With an increase in the number of goals scored by the former Arsenal man, came an increase in the number of people that died. Things began like a coincidence. However, it soon became clear what was happening. At some point in 2021, Ramsey had scored 64 goals, and of these goals, 23 were linked to people's deaths directly. It is either some celebrity died the week Ramsey scored or the actual day he scored. At some point, it became a thing of fear each time Ramsey scored because someone could actually pass on. Well, it doesn't seem like there is a cure for this curse, so the world might just have to cope with it. Number 4. Richarlison once had a gun pointed to his head. One could say Aaron Ramsey was hunting. He probably had no idea what he was doing. Unlike Ramsey, Tottenham's Richarlison was not the hunter but the hunted. The Brazilian striker grew up in the favelas, so it's obvious he did not grow up in the best of neighborhoods. Well, beyond simply not growing in a very good neighborhood, the Brazilian striker was close to being a gangster, and a couple of wrong decisions would have seen him end up doing drugs. Amazingly, he was able to stay away from drugs by dedicating his time to the sale of ice cream while playing football. The man was laughed at by his friends for deciding to be an ice cream boy. Well, now, he is having the last laugh. Richarlison once made it clear that he owes his life to football. He went on to say he once got into a drug lord's territory and a gun got pointed to his head even though he was just a kid. Number 3. Mario Balotelli once gave a homeless man £1,000. Apart from the fact that he was a prolific striker, Mario Balotelli is perhaps famous only for the wrong reasons. However, the fact is, he is not all shades of bad. He actually has some good sides. Unfortunately, it appears no one knows any of his good sides as people seem to have focused all their energy on the not-so-good things he has done. The former Italian international once did something that no one expected him to do. He won a lot of money in a casino, and after winning this, he decided to give some of his winnings to a homeless person. So, he saw a man on the streets of Manchester and gave him £1,000. Number 2. Ronaldo does not have tattoos, so he can donate blood easily. Speaking of controversial players doing something good and not getting the accolades they deserve, Ronaldo is one of the few superstar footballers in the world that do not have tattoos. It might be easy to assume that he doesn't like tattoos. However, it is really not about him not liking tattoos. He does not have any tattoos because he wants to be able to donate blood at will. With a tattoo, this will be quite impossible. Number 1. Wayne Rooney's alleged affair. Wayne Rooney might be one of the best players to feature for the Three Lions. However, the same cannot be said about how much of a husband he has been. Although unconfirmed, there are allegations that he had an affair with an escort girl called Jenny Thompson. While this in itself is bad news, it was even more disrespectful because he did it when his wife was pregnant. Although the family is still intact, this scar might always be on his wife's heart. That's it with stories you didn't know about footballers. What do you think of these stories? Please tell us in the comment section below. Also, please like and share this video. See you in the next video.